Good evening, it is the Derby debrief. We are live on Facebook after Derby County beat Lincoln City by 2-0 in the EFL Trophy. A very good evening as far as the victory was concerned, the clean sheet and the goal scorers as well. We heard quite a bit from Shaun at the end of the game. We'll hear more from him in a moment, but Bradley Johnson's back with us. Just your reaction, first of all, to the 3 points on the board in the group tonight.
Yeah, I think everyone will be pleased. I think there was a lot of good performances out there tonight. We spoke briefly about the game, about lads getting the opportunity to take their shirt and cement their place in the team, and I think everyone done that tonight. And it'd be good for the manager now. It gives the manager decisions to make to the team which he picks. I felt Sibley and Barkhausen were the two outstanding players, and they deserved their goal tonight, carrying on their form from when they come on Saturday. And Kane, right back, was really good tonight. I think first half our most threat come down our right side. But yeah, overall, I think everyone will be happy with the performance, and the manager will be happy with the way that we got the 3 points tonight. Yeah,
Shaun nominated Kane Wilson as our player of the match this evening as well. Let's talk about the 2 goals. They were pretty decent goals, weren't they?
I think throughout the game, our 2 best bits of play, really. The first goal, you can tell the link up between Colo and Barks. You know, the overs was a great move, but he still had a lot to do, and I think it was a great finish. And again, it come down our right-hand side. The second goal was a great touch by Mendes to leave it to Sibbs, and we spoke about his first touch was phenomenal. He didn't have to break his stride. I thought he touched it too far ahead of himself, but he didn't. It was a great touch and an excellent finish.
And Shaun, put the game into a bit more context. We spoke right at the start this evening about the importance of this in terms of just getting the weekend out of the way and building towards the League One match now at the weekend. So much to take from this evening.
Yeah, there's so many positives from it. I think first off, we had a lot of the possession, which we probably haven't had enough of at home. A little bit more patient, dominated long spells. At half-time, I thought we were the better team without really creating too many clear-cut chances, and the detail in the final third was poor from my point of view. In the second half, completely different. The 2 goals were outstanding. The passing and movement, the awareness of where each other's lines are and little give and goes. It's exactly what you want in that final third. And I think we saw a team with a little bit more pace, a little bit more directness in terms of running with the ball and playing 1 and 2 touch passes around the edge of the box. So there were so many things that were good up to the final third in the first 45 minutes. In the second half, that little detail in the final third was much, much better. And ultimately, you get a comfortable win, 2 very good goals, and I'll never complain with a clean sheet.
More from the guys coming your way very shortly, but let's hear from the dressing room now. The manager, Paul Warne's been speaking to us at the end of that one.
Paul, 2-0 win tonight over Lincoln to start the EFL Trophy group stages. What did you think after that?
Yeah, really pleased. Like I said in the fans forum, we want to win as many games as we can, and we want it to be a trend, obviously, a trend to be a friend and hopefully winning games. But it was nice to have some players back, and I think we looked a bit more representative of what we're trying to do here. So we had a bit more pace in the team. Obviously, we had Nat on the side. I didn't have Waggy in it or Nelson in it as well. So I tried to freshen the team up and give other people's opportunities and get people minutes, but also fundamentally to win the game. So I thought there's some really good performances out there. The end of the game probably wasn't as nice as I liked, but generally speaking, I thought the lads done really well. Scored 2 good goals, could have scored more against a really well-organised Lincoln side. And obviously the way they played, with a 5-3, if you don't move the ball to the fullbacks quick enough, you can't get out, and then you have to recycle it and go out the other way. Just didn't think we moved the ball as quick as we could at times, but generally speaking, our overall performance was really good. A clean sheet's always nice. That will go on the clean sheet wall. And a good performance. So generally speaking, a good day at the office. No injuries. Sonny just tightened up a little bit, but it's more precautionary, so I don't think that's a problem.
A lot of good things, as you mentioned there. So what sort of pleased you most that you saw out there tonight?
I thought when our ball speed was good, we obviously we're going to make mistakes on the ball. I accept the players are going to make mistakes, but I just thought there was some really good play. I thought Kane was probably our standout. Whoever voted for man of the match actually got it right. That's a bit of a joke in football. The players always think, who was that? But I thought he was the right decision for the man of the match, but he always drove forward. I like that. I like the fact our midfield 3, when they sorted it and one of them popped and got it, when Corey got it a lot latter part of the first half. I like the way we got at them. And, we probably weren't as clinical or as amazing in the final third, but that is always the hardest thing in a game to do: score goals, create clear-cut chances. So I thought we created enough to win the game. I thought we were pretty comfortable in possession. So they're the sort of things that please me. It's nice, like I said, nice to have Tom Barkhausen back. He's got some minutes in his legs. Elliott, we're trying to get him up to speed. I thought T was really composed at times, and we'll get him better and better, which is good. Corey was a stable head in there, I suppose. Obviously, Cash played on the wrong side, right side. But generally, everyone contributed. And Ben, who I love, who we got from Burton, has been brilliant pre-season with all the pros and been excellent. And it's nice to give him like a professional debut tonight. So all in all, it's been really pleasing day for the football club.
And you mentioned in your first answer the quality of the goals. It was 2 brilliant build-up plays and finishes as well.
Yeah, I just think that we sometimes get a bit obsessed with crosses. I do love crosses, I do. But at times, first half, James Collins was a bit isolated in the box and we didn't get any midfielders in. But to get both goals not from crosses is quite impressive for us. And we have to find different ways, because in the end, teams come and go, OK, let's bank in. They want to go round us, they want to cross the ball. So it's nice, a bit of creativity. And like I said, Tom's goal was topped up a good performance for him to have him back, and it's good. Birdie's back next week, should be training with us Monday, which is great. We need Birdie back. Conor Houlihan's not out as bad as we thought. It might only be a couple of weeks, which is great. And then all of a sudden the team and the squad, like I said at the start, looks more representative of what we're trying to do. Look, we're going to lose football games, I'm well aware of that, but I want to play with a pace and a power and get hold of the ball and get at people, and by doing that you are going to make mistakes, but as long as you're organised under the ball you should be able to recycle it. And I thought tonight we did that.
Well, your telepathic powers got to the next question, which was injury update. You've given it on Max Bird and Conor Houlihan. Just on Tyrese John Jules, what's the situation with him? You said you were waiting for him to get scanned. He's
going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Unfortunately, it's a reoccurrence. I mean, in fairness, it was in a training session. Conor Houlihan's, he's had that injury before, a few years ago, so it's just exactly the same injury. There's no more added to the injury, which sounds a bit weird. And that only took him 10 days, 14 days, so that's good news. And I'm just trying to think of the other ones to come back. Tomo's progressing well, so I look forward to seeing him back in 4 to 5 weeks as well. So all of a sudden, obviously, we've signed Ryan, which is probably your last question of the day, but I've signed Ryan, who has played all his career in the Champ. And he's a player that I've been after for a couple of summers. I just think he's really athletic, really aggressive, a really good defender, a right back, a right centre half, even a left back and a left centre half. And obviously with the disappointment of Rooney being injured, it just seemed a perfect fit. So I'm buzzing to have him in the building, and we trained him today. Me and Rich were training him today, so he'll join in the group on Thursday and hopefully play a part this weekend. So we go to Carlisle on the back of a win and a clean sheet, feeling good about ourselves. And football, as all sport, as all life possibly, is about confidence and building, and it's nice for the lads to come in the meeting Thursday and think I'm not going to stand there and show them loads of negatives. It's mostly positive. So I think everyone can go home and feel pleased about themselves.
Paul Warne says the group are feeling good about themselves, and they should do after that 2-0 victory tonight. You even got player of the match right there. Sure, I mean, the manager was in agreement with it.
He was. It sounds like the first time ever as well. So yeah, I thought it was a standout today, Kane. It's a game of opinions in it. Sometimes you see it different from the side as you do up in the stands. Every single time there'll be an option of a different player, but I thought it was a standout for us. In terms of the first 45, it was him that was looking a threat. It was him that was creating the opportunities out wide. I liked how him and Barks worked on that right side. Barks would drift inside and create a different angle for Kane to drive forward. And in the first half, Elder and Sibbs were almost on the same line, so it becomes a little bit predictable. And in the second half, I thought we all did it. I thought we all interchanged. At times you'll see Wills kind of just up front, and then Barkhazen would drop to the right-hand side, leaving the opposition guessing what your next move is and where the players are going to fill in gaps, especially when you give them time. I thought it was excellent in the second half.
Because I guess you're always looking, aren't you, for some kind of outlet. You're always looking for an option, aren't you, as a player at the back? You
are, and I think Cash found some really good balls in the first half. Said to Bradley, the times where he stepped forward and was still able to find Wilson. And sometimes as a midfielder, Brad will be able to tell you better than me, but when you're playing in midfield, you want someone to be in a position to receive it to feet, into short, into the little pockets. You want players to run beyond. And sometimes when we're in a front three and it's high and wide and you have a central one, it's too predictable. Brad will be looking for a different pass, a different type of pass. Is there a one round the corner? And I think in the second half, those little movements, those little passages of play in the final third were brilliant, and it made it very difficult for Lincoln to pick up the players and pick up where the movement was going to happen.
Had to be a little bit patient. If there was a goal, 2 great goals tonight, if you had to pick one or look at both of them that you really enjoyed seeing this evening, what would it be?
I think it would have been the first goal. The gaffer just spoke about ball speed, and I think it started from our left-hand side. It was quick across the back. We got Kane up in a high position, and as Bart just said there, Barkhuizen's movement was inside. He could play the ball into him, and a lot of communication between him and Colo up front for the overs. It was great movement, and you know, it was a great finish. So I think at the pick of the two, the first one was a well-worked team goal.
Yeah, emphatic, I think, was the words that we used to describe that first goal. It was a terrific finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, a great finish, and that's the hardest thing, you know, putting the ball in the back of the net. But I think sometimes when you get a lot of time on the ball, it's even harder. And Bart's had a lot of time on the ball because it was a great pass from Colo, but you know, he got his head down, put his foot through it, and thankfully for us, it hit the back of the net.
So talk us through the second goal as well, because I thought for a moment that Louis Sibley might just have hit it a little bit too far, but what do I know? What do you know?
What does Brad know? What do I know? The touch was sublime. It was perfect. There was a clever ball, I think it was from Forner into Connor Washington. He drove forward and was so patient with the pass, which at times I thought in the first half we were maybe too eager to play the pass, especially on Saturday. Paul picked up on that, too eager to play the pass forward. Mendez-Laing made the run beyond, little flick inside, and the touch was absolute perfection because his stride didn't falter. It was just seamless, and it took it beyond the defender, never gave him a chance. So the pick of the two, there were 2 brilliant goals. The first one was with the old classic step over and 1-2 in behind, and a great finish. And one of the details which was probably even more important was Box had missed the chance maybe 5 minutes earlier where he had time in the box and he leant back and miscued it. This time he took all the time he wanted and found the back of the net.
But let me rewind a few moments with you, because just before that first goal, there was a brilliant save from Joe Wildsmith. It could have been a very different outcome tonight if he hadn't made that block.
Yeah, terrific save. And that was at 0-0, wasn't it? Yeah. So, you know, Joe's he's a terrific goalkeeper. And, you know, it's maybe a bit of a quiet night for him in that first half. They didn't really threaten our goal. But, you know, that's what goalkeepers are there to do. They've got to be alert throughout the whole game. And he done that. And, yeah, like I say, it set us up to go on and win the game.
Yeah, because you made the point in commentary. I mean, concentration levels must have been high for that, because he had been a spectator for most of it so far.
Yeah, he had. I think there was a couple of times in the first half where he was in good positions to cover up behind the defence. But apart from that, had nothing to do. The importance of the timing of the save, because it was 0-0, I think Box had a chance just moments before it started to open up. There was a couple of half chances either way, and it was actually probably the first well-worked bit from Lincoln down that right-hand side. Brilliant save, and as soon as that happens, we go down the other end and score. So there was, if you look throughout the 90 minutes, there's so many positives, so many key moments, so many good performances, and the fluidity in that final third in the second half was exactly what the manager wants and what the fans wanted to see.
Well, let's go back to the dressing room area now. We can hear from Louis Sibley.
Sibs, 90 minutes in the tank on your first start. How does that feel to be back out there?
Yeah, obviously it was great to be back out on the pitch, really. Obviously spoke about earlier, it was frustrating being out, but like I said, it felt good to be back, and yeah, the lads had a great performance today, so we knew before the game it was all about mindset, and like we said, hopefully, like we did today, we can get a win, and then obviously hopefully put it on right Saturday.
To mark it with a win and a goal, that must be a good comeback for you.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, it has been frustrating being obviously missing quite a few games, but today was obviously a chance to get the minutes in the legs. So for me, it's great. Obviously, Kane as well come back from injury, so it's good to see him out there as well. So it was a solid performance from the team, and yeah, obviously it was nice to get that goal for me as well.
With those injuries you've had, it's obviously been a bit of a stop-start season and even pre-season for you. Has that been a different test for you?
Yeah, 100%. I've been obviously very lucky with injuries, so to miss 5-6 weeks of the season, it's obviously been tough. So obviously missed quite a few games, so it has been frustrating. But you've got to obviously keep fit in the gym, and obviously when you get a chance tonight, obviously you got to prove it. So it has been frustrating, but obviously hopefully I'm match fit now and I can keep it up.
Back in there with 90 minutes tonight as well. How are the legs feeling after it?
Yeah, a little bit heavy to be fair, but like I said, it's good to get back, and like I said, it's whoever it's against. We spoke before. We just want to keep that momentum up, and hopefully we can take it on Saturday. So I feel all good personally. Obviously a bit heavy, but no, good.
Talk me through the goal. It's the second of 2 lovely goals. Really, it was a great move.
Yeah, it was obviously Connor came on. It was obviously good work from him, and then that was obviously a great flick. And I knew as soon as I take a touch past the defender, obviously I was in a goal. So yeah, it was obviously nice to get that goal. Hopefully this season I can keep adding a couple more goals and more assists. Hopefully I can be in that midfield. So that was it really. It was great work, and obviously Tom's goal was very good as well.
You spent a lot of last season on either at left wing back or left back. How much are you looking forward to hopefully nailing down a place in the midfield this season?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously I spoke before, obviously I feel like that's where you get the best out of me. I can obviously drive up players, and I feel like I'm more creative there. So hopefully this season I can play there, and it was nice to obviously I started on the left, and obviously I came in second half. It was nice to get on midfield and get that goal.
Even from the brief glimpse of you we saw on Saturday, you seem to really have that bit between your teeth and wanting to get at people. Has that been a conversation you've had about doing that a lot more?
Yeah, 100%. I think, to be fair, you probably, when I come back from injury, I've obviously appreciated it a lot more. It's obviously I've been frustrated being injured, so coming back it's a bit like you're obviously eager to impress and you miss it, to be fair. So obviously when I come off the bench, it's always time to obviously help the lads out and try and impress. So this season, obviously, hopefully I can dig in. Like I say, keep adding more goals and assists, and hopefully keep doing that.
Speaking to Matt Hamshaw yesterday, he said from you they're looking for a bit more consistency. They know what you're capable of and they want to see it more often. Is that a thought you echo?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that's key, consistency. So hopefully, obviously, I can keep consistent, and that's what I need to do this season. So wherever obviously you play, obviously if it's the left or midfield, I'll always give my all. But obviously, playing midfield is obviously that's where I love really. So, but yeah, consistency is key.
What was said at half time tonight? You seemed to come out with an extra bit of intent in the second half.
Yeah, I think obviously first half we obviously played some good football, but we just didn't really have that final third. I think obviously the crosses in the box, there weren't too many of us in there. So I think second half we moved the ball a lot quicker when we created more chances. So the gaffer just said we've got to obviously keep going, keep pushing, and probably move the ball a bit quicker, and that's what we did. So obviously it paid off in the end.
How big can tonight be for building momentum ahead of a long trip on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. It's massive. We said obviously before the game, whoever we play, we've got to give it all every game. We've got to make sure we do well for the lads and obviously the fans that came out today. So it's massive. Obviously, if we can keep that momentum up, we'll take it on to Saturday. Obviously, with a big win today, hopefully a big win Saturday as well.
Cheers, Sibbs.
Thank you.
Louis Sibley speaking to us after Derby County's win over Lincoln City in the EFL Trophy tonight. So much good stuff to talk about this evening. Important though, we are back in league action at the weekend, and the manager will have some decisions to make over the next few days, and those are good decisions to make.
Yeah, good decisions. The squad's getting healthier and healthier. It looks in a good place at the moment. You know, new additions coming in, Ryan. So the lads didn't do themselves any harm tonight. Everyone who played there would be wanting to play on Saturday, and you know, what I'll say is it's a good option to have as a manager. But yeah, they can take a lot of confidence out of tonight's game, and hopefully go into Saturday's game and put in another good performance. Because
that's the thing, isn't it? You need to back up tonight now on Saturday with a good performance again in the league.
You do. I kind of felt that this game fell perfectly for the squad of players, for an opportunity for players to come back in and get minutes in their belt, to get a bit of confidence. These kind of games, if you make the most of them and you perform, hopefully that confidence breeds through the whole squad and you can continue that into the league. We've seen enough quality and enough of the players out there that can make a big impact this year, and to see the likes of Barks and Sibbs back in the team scoring goals is nothing but a plus for the manager.
Well, we'll have that game on Saturday for you here on RamsTV. My thanks to Bradley Johnson. My thanks to the birthday boy, Shaun Barker, as well. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy what remains of your birthday. Well, as far as Derby were concerned this evening, we've had our cake and eaten it. Good night.